Happy New Year. It's 2020. Amazing year at the beginning of a new decade. The past decade has been pretty powerful. In many ways, wonderful and disastrous. One are filled with great revelations and also great disasters. What have we learned? What have we learned from this last decade that we don't want to repeat again going into the new one? And things that we do want to continue to evolve and to become going into the new decade. Life is filled with patterns. Everything is a pattern, whether you know it or not. So if you look back at your life in decades, you have a map of who you've become and the becoming that has been playing out. It's a very, very powerful tool to use, particularly when you're at a major crossroads, and this is where we are, a major crossroad in our life. Everyone, bar none. Who are you going to be in the next decade? Who were you in 2011? 2000 was the last 4 year. Let me back up here a little bit. 2020 is a 4 year. It's about building foundations. So we're building a foundation for the next decade of our life. The last foundation year, 4 year, was 2011. The one previous to that was 2002. The one previous to that was 1993. Prior to that was 1984. Prior to that was 1975. And prior to that was 1966 and 1957. You can keep on going back, depending on how old you are. These 4 years are building and setting in place the foundation of what you're establishing for pretty much for a decade. Your health issues are patterns throughout life. The highs and the lows, the astrologies, it's all patterns. And when we learn to look at patterns going backwards, we can see where we're going to be in the forward movement based on our decisions in the past and the decisions we make in the future. Because a pattern can be changed. It can be fixed. It can be created anew. Designed newly. It's your choice. 2020 is also a year of building this foundation in preparation for 2021, which is a 5 year of change and flow and freedom to be a higher life example or a inflexible, resistant, stubborn movement, a lack of movement, and you get stuck. Which do you want to be? Where have you been in the past? Look at your life patterns, your personal life patterns, your relationship patterns, your career patterns. And you will see when you look at them with discernment how much you've grown. Look back at who you were 2011 or 2002. How have you grown in that 20 years? What have you learned? intellectually, academically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Who were you then and who are you now? What are the positives and what are the not? Which one do you want to enhance? Which one would you rather try to move out of your life? You're the alchemist. You are in charge. I know sometimes we don't want to admit that and we don't want to see that because it means we have to take responsibility. We are responsible. And we also have the ability to respond. The ability to respond to any circumstance in a high way or a low way. In a way of giving and being unconditional love or acceptance or tolerance or whatever, or being filled with hate and vengeance and vile. We have those choices, those extremes, and everything in the middle. How we do it has an impact on our cells, on our cellular structure, on our cellular patterns, on our brain frequency, on our mind, and how we gather information and what information comes into us. For me, I look at the brain as a muscle, just like the stomach and the pancreas, the kidneys, the liver. They're muscles, they're organs that process. For me, I see the brain as the processing of the information the mind brings in to my being. And how I gather that is unique to me. How you gather information is unique to you. Now is a time for you to build the foundation of your life that you truly desire, that you've worked and strived for, sometimes missed. We all miss things. We all miss signposts. We more often than not take the long way around in the massive detours. But we do learn an awful lot on those detours if we pay attention.